What is up, everybody? I'm here. I'm live. And I just froze. I think I'm good, though. I think I'm good. Okay, good to see you guys. I know this is a weird angle. I'm going to sort out this camera angle in a second. I just basically had to just do a load of shit to basically get myself ready. So, how's everyone doing? I've got the chat over here, but I'm going to sort the camera out, so I'm kind of looking more at you guys, but you got to bear with me, and I'll explain why in a second. And we are on. Yeah, good to see you guys in the chat. How many people are watching? I don't know, it doesn't tell me right now, but that's cool. Good to see you guys. Okay, so basically, let me just explain before we get into this why the camera looks weird. If you don't know already, I have basically I moved basically. The place I was in, I've moved for a bit, and then I'm going to move somewhere else in a couple months. So I had to rearrange the setup. And here we are. And then I was going to go live in that room on my laptop, but then I had all these issues. It kept saying cannot an error occurred or something on YouTube, and on that laptop I couldn't get it sorted. I was freaking out. I was like, oh my god, it's nearly 9. So then I run in here, I go onto my desktop PC, my gaming PC, which is at the moment plugged in to a TV. I don't know if you can see this. It's literally, we're just literally going live, and I'm just looking at the TV because I didn't know what else to do in the short space of time. So we're here, and I'm gonna sort out the camera. I couldn't leave you guys hanging. I had to just go live. So I'm gonna just try and figure out where we're gonna position the camera today. I don't really know. Let me see if I can put the camera up a little bit. Anyway, how you guys doing? We're gonna basically be talking about, you know, what my new video was kind of about, but plus the normal gameplay trailer that we had a few weeks ago. We're gonna compare the two. We're gonna give a few thoughts on, you know, how it can blend together from gameplay and cutscenes, what we saw, and how we think the game is actually gonna be, pretty much. Once we got all settled in. Shall I just go like this? Shall I go like this? Or shall I kind of go more like that? More like this, and then I can kind of put this in front of me? Maybe? This is... Oh, I can't do it, that mirror is right now. Oh, no, bro. But this is alright, right? I could do this? Yeah, that's fine. We'll do that. As long as the mic reaches, which it does. There we go, because it's got a wire on it. Okay, and then I've got the keyboard on my lap. I know, this is like some makeshift type beat. And then I've got the mouse right here. This is how we're going to do it. I can use the mouse on here, can't I? No? Alright, let me, Bro, why is my mouse not working right now? Are you for real right now? Bro, my mouse. Alright, this is not going to work. What can I do? I'm gonna have to get closer. Guys. I'm sorry about this. You know what I'm like. Because I can use the mouse now. It's got to be closer because it's wireless. This is so annoying right now. Why am I not there? Oh, there I am. Okay, I don't need to have it up on screen. I don't need to. For now. So I'm gonna get my phone. I'm gonna get chat up on my phone, and then all right. We'll get started now. Oh god, that was a bit of stress for me right there. I'm sweating as well, jeez. Alright, here we are. But yeah, we're going to have a good time today. I'm excited. To be streaming again, because it's been a few weeks since I've been able to. Obviously, with the move, I couldn't do the week before last. I couldn't do this Saturday, so that's why we've moved it to Monday. Alright, let's have a look in the chat. What are you guys saying? Replace them batteries, what with the mouse? It's not even that. I think it's the connection. It's not a very good mouse. It's so old. The connection, I've got the sort of USB thing which it connects to plugged into the back, and I think when it's plugged into the back of my PC, it just doesn't connect very well. So if you go too far away, it's just not good. I just get a new one. All right, we're here. We're all good. We're ready. Boris, I love you, bro. You say you're legit my favorite AC YouTuber. You're one of my favorite viewers. You're one of my favorite viewers. So I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Okay, so I'm going to get the footage up, and we're going to kind of do what we did in one of the last streams that we did a couple weeks ago with the other gameplay footage. I'm going to get the cutscenes up next to me, like there, and we can kind of analyze it a little bit more and talk about it, because I think after I made the video, the most recent video where I kind of did a bit of an analysis on what we saw in the cutscenes, there was a few things that I was watching back my own video after, and I thought, I missed that, so we can kind of talk about that. And also I kind of want to go into more depth on, well, I want us to be able to speculate more on, like, well, if this cutscene's happening at this point in the game, what does this mean for Basim? What does this mean for you know, the characters will meet, the places will go, and why are they in a desert storm, and what are they doing? You know, it'd be fun to just guess about all that stuff, really. So that's kind of today. That is today. Hassan says, I finished Unity last week. Good for you. Was it first time playthrough, or was it a, you know, how many playthroughs have you done of that game? I think for me, I've probably played Unity 5 times, probably. Not as many as my Revelations playthrough. I've done like over 20 playthroughs of AC Revelations, and AC2 I've probably done about the same. It's crazy. Okay, so I think this is a perfect camera angle, right? The lighting's fine. I'm in shot visibly. I've got the mic. I know that mirror is so awful because basically if it looks like a smiley face, it's because when I was like, I don't even know, I was probably like 12 or something, I thought it'd be so cool just to spray deodorant right close up to it and do a smiley face, and it just stained forever. That's just classic Baby XR, mate. That's the sort of shit he did. That's the sort of shit he pulled. And he was an idiot. Not much has changed. Alright. Okay, so let me put my phone down there real quick. I'm going to get the footage up and then we'll just start analysing, really. I don't think I have anything else to say before we get into it, really. So yeah, we'll just do it. So, again, I would have done this earlier if I had the time, but I did not. But what I'll do is when I'm getting it up, you guys can watch me. So I'll spin it around. Have I gone too far? Oh, I've gone way too far. Spin it to like here. And we'll do it here. We'll do it. By the way, guys, if you're new to this channel, this is what you got to expect when I'm going live. Just the realest live you can get, you know, just like me just going wrong and shit, you know. Look at my face right now. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sit back there in a minute. I just have to get closer. Also, I wonder if my sound bites are working today. No, they're not. Well, you might have heard it. I don't know. I didn't hear it. All right. I have basically a cut down version of the Ubisoft promo, which only contains the Mirage footage. So we'll just play that on loop and we can watch it while we talk about it. So I'm gonna move this. I'm going to move myself into the corner. Oh, no, I don't need to go into the corner. I just need to go along a little bit. Make it a little bit smaller. And obviously this as well, if I can move the border. How do I do that? I'm just looking for the border. Is that it? Yeah, there we go. Oh, God. I wish it could just have an AI thing and you can just go like, you know, OBS, do this, and it just does it for you. So we're going to have me there. And then, as I said, I'm going to add the footage to the left-hand side. And then we're going to chill out, we're going to talk about it, we're going to take our time, we're going to have a good time. Yeah, I appreciate you guys jumping in again. I know it's been a couple weeks since we went live, but that's why it's going to be so good today, because, again, we haven't done it for a while. So we're going to have a good time. And I do have a lot to say about this footage that, you know, I couldn't maybe say in the video. And as I said, I've thought about it since that video's come out, and I've had a few more sort of things I've seen, as well as things I've kind of come up with, you know, speculation and that sort of thing. So, I'm just looking for the footage. Jesus, what's wrong with me, man? Why can't I just get this stuff ready? I don't know, to start with. Right, it's in that folder. It's in that. No, it's not. It's not in that one. It's in trailers. Trailers, Mirage. There we go. I've got it. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it here. Yeah. What, bro, where did it just go? It just disappeared. I need to loop it, right? How the frick? This is what happens when you haven't streamed for a while. So it's still here. Yeah, I just need to remind myself how to loop these things. Does anyone here know OBS? Order, move up, transform. Bro, what's wrong? I know what I'm doing. I know what to do. Loop. Alright, we've done it. We're ready. Finally. Okay, sorry about that. We're done. We're ready. Okay. I'm going to go back to my chair. I'm going to spin the camera back round. We've got it, boys. We've got it. Okay, now I'm gonna go look at chat again. All right, now we can get started. As I said, I should have got this started before, but I was stressing. Okay, all right, all good, all good. So, oh, do you know what? I'm gonna read. I'm sorry if I say his name wrong, but Jail Toe. I'm gonna read what you said. The main reason I dislike the mythical stuff is because it's killing what AC originally was. People can enjoy them, but separately and without destroying what we love. Yeah, I mean, why not? Let's talk about that before we just as a little thing to get us in the mood of everything. Yeah, I mean, with the mythical stuff, it was originally more it was sci-fi. Sci-fi was the mysterious stuff, and then yeah, it turned kind of mythical and fantasy, which is kind of not the direction of the older games, not the direction of what we were used to, which I think is why people don't like it as much. And then you got the new people that kind of come in with the RPG stuff and didn't really play the older games, and then they see Assassin's Creed as being that. Oh, that's what it is. It's mythical stuff. It's this. It's that, and they get used to it being that. And that's the thing. Like, if you start a series one way, people get used to it being that way, and then keep it going. That's completely fine. If it started off in a mythical direction, that's what it would be, and it would have appealed to those people. But obviously, when you go from one, you transition within the same series. It's fine to transition, but if you do it in a drastic way, you have to expect people to lose interest, which is kind of what has happened. But I feel like you've also got to do it in a way that makes sense and does fantasy as an evolution of what used to be more sci-fi in Assassin's Creed. Is that a correct evolution? And that is the whole debate. But that is we've talked about that before. Today, I want to kind of cover what we've seen already. Templar's Creed says, I have a sneaking suspicion that Mesopotamian ruins are going to feature in the game. We may get Mesopotamia in the future. Who wouldn't want to search the city of Babylon? Yeah, that would be really cool. I'm guessing that's just based off of your own sort of speculation, like your own ideas. That it could be that like that. Yeah, maybe. I mean, honestly, I don't know enough about history in this period of time in this part of the world to kind of know whether we will see that or not. Really. So if you know to do with that history more than me, then you're gonna have a better idea. So I'm gonna take your word for it that it maybe is a likely thing. It makes sense for them to have different types of ruins outside of the city. Like if you look at the footage here, like where it shows the sandstorm and then it shows them riding camel stuff. Like it's not just gonna be complete desert. There's gonna be, I mean, it probably will be a big area of desert, but there will be things to do in it. Sure, I know there's probably gonna be some that are bandit camps, classic sort of stuff from the later games, but. There's probably going to be ruins to discover. And within those ruins will probably be, I don't know, it's like, are they going to go the direction of the RPG sort of games where, a bit like Valhalla or Odyssey, like you'll find a cave, you'll go in, it's this, all the caves are kind of the same, you find some loot, you kill some people, and you've cleared it? Or is it going to be more like story-centric type of aspects of the open world where it doesn't have to revolve around the main story, but delving into a ruin actually has more substance to it, where you unlock something, you unlock maybe some gear, and that's completely fine, but maybe delving into a ruin teaches you more about the story. It's more world building, and it's done as to kind of set the scene more than it is to just get gear and loot. I wonder what direction they'll go, because the thing with Mirage, if it is how we think it's going to be, it's going to take a lot of these RPG aspects, but this is a unique situation, because if it is true that they're going to go back to the older games in the way of storytelling at least, how will they then present those RPG aspects? Kind of what I just said. Will the caves that you can maybe find within the desert and stuff like that, will they be just kind of, get the loot, clear the area, move on, checklist type style? Or will they take what is here and with the RPG stuff and kind of try and build upon that and make it more like the older games when it comes to rewards and when it comes to just completing these things? Does that make sense? It makes sense in my head. I don't know if I'm wording it right. What do you guys think about that? Maybe the open world will be like AC1, where the planes will just be there to transition from areas. Oh, like kind of like the Kingdom. Do you know, I personally think I guess it will have maybe a blend of sort of Kingdom-esque type vibes from AC1 and just normal open world vibes from the later games. I think the game will want you to go out and explore the desert as much as they'll want you to explore Baghdad, I think. Because I think there will be stuff out there to do. But yeah, will it be more of, like you said, like the Kingdom, where it's just a means to get from one place to the other? I think it will be more of just the normal part of the open world, less than it will be like the Kingdom, because we know, Baghdad is the city, and yeah, we've got I suppose you could say leaked rumors, from the leaked information that we're going to start the game in a smaller town or village and stuff like that, and as we just said, there might be like caves to delve into, obviously Alamet Castle, stuff like that. So you think, okay, well, we can travel to these different places, maybe the desert and the surrounding areas will just be like the Kingdom, as you said. But again, because Ubisoft are now a completely different, well, they build their games completely differently, even though they're trying to go back to the older style, or so they say, it's still going to, in my opinion, revolve around the same sort of gameplay format as the newer games have. So I think that it will just be a big, expansive sort of area, the desert. And I think it will just be one massive open world. Like, I think if you go to the world map in the game, it will have the city, and have everything as one big map. Kind of like, I don't know, just because it's in a similar setting. Think of the Origins map. You zoom in on a city on the map, you zoom out, and you've got everything to see on the map. It's probably just going to be like that. You've got Baghdad, which takes up, probably most of the map. But then you can zoom out, and you've got these areas up here, around here. Like let's say you've got Baghdad here on the main map. And then you got desert kind of going around it like that on the main... When I say main map, I just mean like on the map pools menu. And again, you got the village up there. You got things dotted around there, perhaps, I think. Oh, Assassin Tombs from AC2, says Randy. Yeah, bro, I would love to see a return. I've been waiting for a return of Assassin Tombs since kind of after Revelations. I remember when AC3 came out, I was like, oh, where are the tombs going to be? Where are the tombs? And there was kind of one mission. I think it was if you did all the peg leg sort of collectibles or something like that, you would unlock an Assassin Tomb type mission and you'd get some gear, like a outfit at the end, I think. But that was literally it, and in my first playthrough I literally missed that mission, and then obviously they didn't really do it again. Obviously Valhalla they tried to bring it back in a way, but it was nothing to do with AC, it was like AC Tombs are up here, the sort of cave climbing segments of AC Valhalla were down here in the way of intricacy of like, the older ones were platformers when it came to AC Tomb missions. And Valhalla's wasn't really platforming, it was just more explore the cave, I guess. So, will they bring that back in Mirage? I don't think they'll be able to, because the older AC Tomb missions were built around the parkour system, the parkour mechanic, giving you the level of control, back ejecting, side ejecting, literally being able to precisely decide where you want to jump. And of course you're going to mess up, but like the mechanic is built for it to be very platformy. Whereas with the parkour, if our speculation and from what we're seeing is true, it being very similar to basically like the RPG games parkour, Valhalla, Origins, Odyssey, I don't think it will allow for such intricate AC Tomb missions again from what I said, because the parkour mechanic kind of won't allow for it. But I wish. I loved those Tomb missions. They were like one of my favorite parts of Assassin's Creed, from 2 to Revelations. I love the Tomb missions. They're just the immersiveness, the way the story weaves into it, just the fun of it as well. I just loved. Okay, what I think we should do is let's just watch it. I can see it on screen over there. So I know it's quick, but again, it's on loop. We can go back to it. I think, well, what I said in my video was like how it is kind of like, it feels bigger and better, I said, than what we've seen in an AC game before. But what I really meant by that is, I don't know, I just get more of a cinematic feeling in a way that, of course, the older games could be very cinematic, especially like Unity and stuff. But it's just something about the way the scenes are set, looking at them right now. It feels more like a movie than it does a game. Do you know what I mean? And I know obviously these are probably pre-rendered cutscenes. That's one thing I wanted to also add. these cutscenes look to me like they're pre-rendered. So, you know, in Odyssey, or let's say Odyssey, for example, you know, the main cutscenes where you're talking to people and all that would be, you know, would be in game, you know, in engine, in game, whatever. And you could clearly tell that. And then sometimes there will be story parts of the game where it would then show a pre-rendered cutscene, and the graphics would look more high resolution. The you know, the facial animations would look a lot better. You could tell, just like at the beginning of the game when you know, they push Cassandra off the cliff or whatever. That's all pre-rendered and it looks really good graphically. This to me looks pre-rendered. I could be wrong, but just the way, I don't know, just the way it looks compared to the gameplay we saw in the trailer, to me this footage looks way higher resolution. It looks a lot more, I mean, the textures just look better. Is that just me? So I think this is probably near the beginning of the game, or a quarter of the way in, or something like that. And, you know, they're obviously heading somewhere for some reason, 3 of them. It's Roshan. You guys let me know in the comments. The male guy in the video, in the cutscenes, is called Feluda, I think he's called, unless I'm pronouncing that wrong. And obviously you got Roshan. So I think this is going to be a very story-centric part of the game, and again, my theory of this being pre-rendered kind of adds to that, because the whole game's probably not going to have pre-rendered cutscenes. You know, no game usually has them all pre-rendered, it's just big parts of the game, you know, that they do have it with. So I think this is either going to be a big part at the beginning where maybe he's still training to be an assassin, Basim, and they're taking him out for some reason, you know, they're taking him out to visit Alamut Castle. Maybe he's been initiated at this point, and they're like, okay, well, now it's time to show him the knowledge we have. Maybe he started to show signs of Isu DNA, and they're like, we recognize this because we've been kind of delving into the Isu temple underneath Alamut Castle. We've seen, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's the Masyaf keys. That obviously they're not called the Masyaf keys at this point, but they're underneath Alamut Castle at this point, I think. And because Altair originally took them from Alamut Castle to then record his memories on for then Ezio to later find. So maybe there's different memories on the what we know as Masyaf keys at this point. Maybe different memories from someone else in the past. Maybe even Loki has recorded their memories on them. And Roshan and Feluda and everyone in the Order, maybe they've seen this. They realise that this is a lot like Basim. This is a lot like this new initiate we have, or who's been with us for a few years. I think it's time to bring him down to, you know, Alamut Castle, take him to the Isu temple underneath, show him these mysterious artifacts, and see if he has a revelation. You know, see if he figures anything out, or see if we can understand him better. Maybe that's part of this, and that's why. Because I think I'm just trying to look at the first footage with the logo on it. After this, I think. Yeah, this one. Isn't that the city in the background, or some sort of town in the background? So they're obviously leaving a settlement. They're going off into the wilderness. So, or maybe they're going into a different Isu temple. Maybe there are a few different sort of areas from the ones who came before. Or maybe it's not even that. That's the fun of today, though. We're just going to discuss what we think it is. And what do you guys think this is? And I'll go back to chat, see what you guys are saying. I got a dono? Did I? Oh, bro, I love you, man. Bro, do you know what? That is the first time I've ever had a donation. So I literally love you. You are the best. You're amazing. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Keep up the good work. I will. I'll do it for you. I'll do it for all of you, but I'll do it for you especially now because you donated. No, I love you. Thank you. That's like a big moment for me because again, I've never had that before. Yeah, that's cool. Thank you, man. AC0401 says, I think pre-rendered cutscenes should be a standard for all games. I mean, it would be obviously really good to have pre-rendered cutscenes if they are clearly, you know, there's a 60 FPS from the game, whatever the gameplay frames per second have. It's the same for the cutscenes, because sometimes I feel like pre-rendered cutscenes almost kind of take you out of it a little bit, because you can kind of tell that it's taking you out of the game and put you in another cutscene. That might just be me. But sometimes, you know, you're playing 60 FPS and then a pre-rendered cutscene takes you down to 30 FPS or something. I've found that in a lot of games. But if done like really nicely, then pre-rendered cutscenes are great because yeah, as you said, like it, or as did I say it? I don't know, but it makes it feel more cinematic. It is more immersive, and this cutscenes that we're watching today kind of shows that to me, kind of proves that to me, if I'm right. Um, I don't think Basim will be an iconic character. Honestly, we're just gonna have to find out because he's such a different person in Valhalla to what he probably is going to be in Mirage. I feel like the character we're going to get to know in Mirage is going to be so much different, and I think we're going to see that change. So I think if he is written well, that character development is written really well, then he could be a really good character. Iconic, I don't know, but I think he could be good if it's done well. Like maybe it starts, he's very naive, he's very almost childlike, because I think at the beginning of the game they said he's going to be 17, and he's just a street thief. He's poor. He's trying to survive. So if written well, it would be really cool to see his innocence almost, or not innocence because he's obviously lived a harsh life as a kid, but his sort of innocence in the way of not knowing too much of the world or especially the Order and who he once was. And then it would be good to see that progression of him then initiating with the Order. Maybe he's like, oh, I don't know about this, but then he overcomes stuff, he meets people, the way he sees the world changes, and then the way, and the more he the more his worldview changes, maybe that is what starts triggering his old memories of when he was Loki. That would be, see, they could really weave it in together well, but that's all on the writing. A young kid could come up with these ideas and it would be really cool, but that young kid is probably not going to be able to put it into really good words and write it in a nuanced way and everything like that. And I'm not saying the writers are like young kids or anything. I'm just saying, as an example, something, there could be something amazing, but if it's not executed properly, then it's not going to be amazing. So I mean, to be honest, I think from what we're seeing, I think the story could be written well. I think it could, but that's just literally a guess from me. I think Basim's going to keep having visions at first. Yeah, that makes sense, right? It also introduces the player into this whole story. If you have little flashbacks here and there, Basim's like, whoa, what was that? And then the player can also be like, whoa, what was that? Even though we do know a little bit more. And then the more visions you have, the more you learn, and then maybe it starts to blend, and Loki and Basim start to coincide more. That would be cool. Personally, I think this is from Zhao. Again, sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. Personally, I think the Isu aren't just Norse gods. They adapt to each character's beliefs. Well, yeah, no, that's something we know. Juno and Minerva are not based off Norse mythology. Juno and Minerva, etc., are based off of Roman mythology, right? Or not Roman, Latin? I don't know. Yeah, right. You know what I mean, though. I think that's right. It's based off of that. Whereas Valhalla's was based off of Norse. So you are right in the way that they aren't technically Norse gods. They're Isu beings. It's just the Norse people, and probably the Danes as well, in the Assassin's Creed universe, had these leftover memories from when I say leftover memories, is leftover second-hand memories over thousands and thousands of years. And that is how they could comprehend what the stories passed down through generations have told. But, Basim would see that completely differently. If Basim did the same thing Eivor did in Valhalla, where he took the ailment and he, went into that trance and accessed his old memories in that way, Basim wouldn't see the world as Eivor did. He wouldn't see Asgard and Jotunheim. He would see, whatever his culture's gods were and culture's afterlife were. He'd see it that way. And he probably did. I think we'll probably see a part of the game. Maybe it's probably just going to be a small part, but I think we'll see part of the game delve into a world that Basim understands, reflected in his past memories. Now, I don't think it'll be a massive open world to explore like it was in Valhalla. I think it'll probably just be like small, controlled sort of sequences of the game. I said this in a video months and months and months ago. I said, if we do see a similar thing as we did with Valhalla with Jotunheim and everything. I think the way Basim will see it, it will be kind of like in Assassin's Creed Unity when Arno drinks that liquor. He drinks that potion, or I don't know what you call it. He drinks from the goblet when he's initiating into the creed, and you go through that sort of dream segment. I think it will be just a small segment like that where Basim takes a drug or something like that, or he accesses a piece of Eden that sends him into a trance, and it will be again like a 10-15 minute segment of the story where you do go through a sort of you know afterlife type world based off of his culture. Bagel Loves Flowers, what a cool name, says someone mentioned on Twitter that the assassin focus ability kind of resembles Odin's ability in AC Valhalla's DLC. Now, is that the latest DLC for Valhalla? Because I only played the Paris one, the Siege of Paris. I didn't play the Mythical one, so I actually don't know. I haven't seen that, but it very well could do for sure. Especially seeing they're probably they're reusing a lot of assets because it was originally gonna be a DLC for Valhalla, so that would make sense. Hassan says, I think there's two Hassans in the chat. Should I play Mirage on PC or Xbox? I mean, PC games, not just from Ubisoft, but PC games in general have a history of being poorly optimized. Not all games poorly optimize their PC ports, but a lot seem to for some reason. So maybe it's a safer option to get it on console if you do have a console. I think when the time comes for me to play the game, I don't have a PS5 or anything at the moment, but I'm kind of thinking maybe I just get at the time a PS5 and play it on there and stream it from there, and because I don't know. I just think it will probably run better on a PS5 than it would on my PC. So I would say the safe thing to do is just get it on console. But maybe it will be well optimized for PC, and it will run a lot better. So that's completely up to you. Where are we at? I'm missing a lot of stuff in chat again today because the chat is popping a little bit. So I do apologise if I miss anything important. The clip feels like the Prince of Persia movie. Yeah, do you know what? I actually know what you mean. It does. It gives off the same sort of vibes, doesn't it? I actually know what? I know people hate that film. A lot of people do, but I actually loved the Prince of Persia: Sands of Time movie. It was one of my all-time classics. I mean, it's probably a lot of nostalgia for me because I watched it at the cinema when I was. When did it come out? 2008, something like that. If it came out in 2008, I would have been 7. So I watched it around then, and I think I saw it twice in the cinema. I saw it with my parents or something, and then it was my friend's birthday, and we went and watched it again because he hadn't seen it. It's such a good film, based off of nostalgia at least. And also, fun fact, the kid Prince of Persia at the beginning of the film, when it's showing him as a kid running through the rooftops and everything, my cousin, that was his friend that was his school friends. They knew each other. I remember that because when it was a new film, I saw my cousin and he was like, yeah, it's my mate. He that's him. And I was like, oh, sick, really? And I've just remembered that ever since. So anyway, Basim calls himself a heathen, a knave, or a heretic in Valhalla, a distinction they made on purpose to show their beliefs. Well, if Basim calls himself a heathen is a non-religious, isn't that right? So, and also I just did read a chat a little bit above that from one of you guys saying they don't have an afterlife in their culture. Basim wouldn't have, so I don't know if that's correct or not, but that's what you guys said. So, yeah, maybe instead of seeing some sort of afterlife, because you don't fully believe in the gods or anything, maybe it will be more just another world, just through the lens of the world he knows already. So it'll be very sandy. It will be very you'll have the same sort of architecture, but it won't technically be an afterlife that he's envisioning or what he thinks is an afterlife. It'll just be another world that he doesn't quite understand, maybe. Jal says he's going to head out. No worries. Thank you for joining, for stopping by, and hopefully we'll see you soon.
Apricot says, it was mentioned a while ago in an interview that Basim believes Loki to be a djinn, and you can see them hinting towards that in the CG trailer. Yeah, and for those of you that don't know, you might want to look this up on Google as well, but I think a djinn was kind of their culture's version of like a demon type thing, or some sort of monster type of deity. So, yeah, I think that makes sense, right? Because he'll probably have this confliction. He'll have these voices in his head. He'll have these weird memories, and based on what he only understands, he's probably going to be thinking, "What the hell is this? There's a demon in me. I can hear him voice in my head. There's demons." You know what I mean? So that's probably what it's going to be, or the way he's going to see it until we progress through the game. You know, you got some character development, evolution of Basim, and he starts to realize, no, I am the demon. You know what I mean? And that sort of thing. And also, I wouldn't expect to play as a bad guy, because I know Basim in Valhalla ended up being a bad guy, but he never really was a bad guy. He was just a stupid guy. He was trying to get revenge on somebody that it wasn't really them. He was trying to get revenge on somebody that was just a reincarnation. And it's just like, come on, man. It's like, can you forgive and forget? No, you're being a dick. Okay. You know what I mean? He was just being a bit of a dick. He wasn't a bad guy. And I think, that was Loki getting his revenge, not Basim. I think Basim is a fairly caring guy from what we saw, especially in the last chapter when he looks upon Hytham, and he kind of feels a bit of remorse, a bit sad that he kind of, in a way, left his mate. He kind of ditched his bro. Kind of feels a bit bad for him, and he kind of misses him. You can see it in the look in his eyes. And if you're just an evil guy, you don't usually feel that. So I think again, they can try. I think they should try and tap into his personal side and who he is as Basim, at least. Like I want to learn more about Basim than I do Loki. And I just want to learn about how Loki influences Basim more. That's how I would like to see it. In the part when we look in the gameplay trailer when Basim does the chain assassination, he jumps off a building. It's probably the air assassination, but it could be real jumping distance. Well, I was thinking, again, I thought this after, I didn't say it in the video, gameplay analysis video I did, because I didn't think of it at the time, but upon reading comments, it seems that it's going to be kind of like a chain assassination thing, a little bit like how they have in the Arkham games. So I think it'll probably be like you charge up a meter or something like that. After you've done a certain amount of assassinations, your meter fills. And you can probably chain assassinations where you'll chain it with 3 people. It will go into a also sort of automated type of animation, and I don't know how he'll do it. Like, will he zip to people with special powers? I hope not. I hope he'll just run and do it, and then he'll jump and slip around and do it, because I don't want powers back in Assassin's Creed. I really don't. If they do it in that way, like powers, like him like magically glowing blue and flying around and killing people that way, it'll just be like, well, it's the Animus, it's a great upgrade to the Animus where you can now get through parts of the DNA better, or something like that, something stupid like that. Something looks very odd in the window, like something behind the chair is standing. Bro, don't scare me, bro. Please don't scare me right now. What do you mean? Bro, what are you talking about, man? You're gonna creep me out. There's someone behind me. In the window? Do you mean this is a mirror? Do you mean here? In the mirror? I mean, that's the chair. What's behind that? What do you mean? I need to see this right now, bro. You're freaking me out right now. I don't want Loki to get me. I'm just literally zooming in. Nah, it's just the chair, man. I don't know what you're talking about. It's just the chair. I don't know. Anyway. Oh yeah, Animus Magic. Animus Magic is what they'll call it, yeah. Anyway, I want to look more at the cutscenes again, because we're neglecting them. I mean, what can you say other than the fact how it adds immersion and where we think they might be going? Where do you guys think, based off the cutscenes we're looking at right there, where do you think they are going, and why do you think there's 3 of them? Let's speculate on the story. Also, I don't know if you guys, I can't speak today. I feel like I'm talking really fast. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but in the cutscene where they're pushing the stick in the fire, I'm pretty sure on the left-hand side of the little fire, there's a little like animal on a stick, like they're cooking something for dinner. Is that right? I feel like it is, right? Look at it there, left, stuck up like that, a little rabbit. I don't know that. I don't think rabbits run around in the desert, but something like that. I'm just looking at the footage now to see what I want to say about it. Should I see if I can slow it down? I might see if I can just slow it down. It might make it easier to analyze. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Let me try and slow it down real quick. I'm just gonna have to go over here. Ow! Sorry. Okay. I don't know if OBS will let me slow it down, but I'll... Oh yeah, you literally can. Bro, OBS is so good. Oh shit, boy. I've really slowed it down now. Oh, this is much easier. Yeah, so... Yeah, this is going to be a lot easier to analyze. Also, I feel like because each of these characters have completely different types of robe, that might specify or symbolize, you know, their rank. And again, we don't know, we haven't played the game, we don't know the story, we don't know what rank means in this game for them. But I'm thinking Faluda, if that's what his name is probably higher ranking than Roshan is. I think Roshan, we know, is a mentor to Basim. So that still leads me to believe at this part of the game, Basim is probably a novice assassin or an initiate, whatever you want to call it. Because a lot of people in the comments of my new video were also saying the robes Basim is wearing is not the Master Assassin robes shown in prior trailers. Again, making us think, well, this is probably near the beginning of the game, and it's probably, you know, a younger Basim. Maybe he's in his 20s at this point. He's been in the Creed for like 3-4 years, or, you know, maybe it's Sequence 3, maybe it's Sequence 4. I hope they bring sequences back. It's just a good way of just like segmenting the game, especially when so many years pass. I think that's why they did it in the older games. It made sense due to the Animus, and obviously we need to get to this sequence in the game to achieve synchronization with the Ancestor and the Descendant. But I think gameplay wise, they originally sort of segmented the game into sequences because, you know, how many years passed throughout the game. Like with Ezio, AC2, was that like a 20-year story? Well, no, it's more of a 40-year story because you start the game as a baby and you end the game as like a guy in his close to his 40s or something. So it's like, you know, it's easier to put the game into sequences to kind of show how much time has passed, show the year. It makes sense. So if what we understand is true, that this is going to be a long sort of, when I say long story, I mean a long story in the way of how many years passed. Like Basim starts as a 17-year-old street thief. You end the game as a master assassin, probably a guy in his like 30s and 40s, maybe even leads right up to the events just before AC Valhalla. I said this in my AC prediction stream a few months ago, which I then cut down into its own video. I wouldn't be surprised, and I think this would be really cool to see if done well, that, you know, maybe the game ends when Basim meets Sigurd. You know, maybe we get a cutscene, like a cinematic cutscene like this, where, because they meet in Constantinople, maybe Basim goes to Constantinople to deliver a piece of Eden or something, and he bumps into Sigurd in a tavern, and they're having a brawl, and he's like, "What is this?" And Sigurd is like, "What do you think this is?" I don't know what I'm talking about. We ain't going to do the dialogue. And, you know, they get to meet each other, and then maybe the game kind of ends there. Maybe it's just a brief conversation between Sigurd and Basim, just to kind of bridge the gap between Mirage and Valhalla. Again, if done... I don't want it to be done in a sort of Marvel Studios sort of cameo way, where they'll bring in, you know, what's the character that they love to show, and you know what they're like with their cameos. You know, like when they brought in what's his name? Professor X, is that his name? The guy in a wheelchair from X-Men. They bring him in Multiverse of Madness, and it plays the theme tune, and he comes in. It's like, okay, it's kind of cool, but it's also like, you're kind of making me cringe a little bit. You know, I don't want Sigurd to walk in and then it plays the Valhalla theme tune. That would just be cringe. It would just be really cool at the end of the game. Maybe even the cutscene, sorry, not the cutscene, the credits have rolled and everything. And then there's like an epilogue where,
yeah, you go to Constantinople. Maybe you deliver the apple, not the apple, but maybe you deliver the Masyaf keys. Again, they're not called the Masyaf keys at this point, but just so you know what I'm talking about. And then from there, you then bump into Sigurd. You have a small conversation with him, and it's just very well done. And then the game cuts to black, and then that's the end of the game. And then you go, oh, that's how they met. And then when you go back and play Valhalla, and you hear Basim and Sigurd talking to Eivor about how they met in Constantinople, it makes sense, you know? I'm not saying I want to see all their adventures together. I just want to be able to see them maybe meet. And you know what? Even if we don't see that, I'm not saying we have to. I just think it would be kind of cool. If they don't do it like MCU though, that would not be cool. Okay. The real question is, says Randolph Gamer, are the Mirage players going to be good? Do you mean, what does that mean? Do you mean, are we the fans going to be good at playing the game? Is that what you're trying to say? Honestly, mate, that is just each to their own, isn't it? You know, I might be shit at the game, but you might be great at the game, or the other way around. Josh says, "See you, bro. Hope you do great. Have a good one, mate. Thanks for joining." Oh no, that wasn't to do with me, was it? That was Hassan. Bye, guys. I should quit because I have a maths exam tomorrow. Oh, bro, you have a math exam. Jeez, good luck, man. Good luck. I hope it goes well. Basim's next journey Basim's next journey is mentioned in the Gold City book. Do you know what? I should actually read that because just so I'm up to date with what's going on with Mirage and stuff. Like, I don't usually read books, but I am trying to get into them a bit more just for like, because it's good for you, isn't it? But I think I should probably read that book because, yeah, it will definitely help me when I'm talking about stuff like this. So I probably should read that. Anyway, I want to have a look at... How long have we been going for? I'm just curious. We've been going for 47 minutes. Is that right? Interesting. We'll probably go for a bit longer, you know, go for just over an hour or something like that. I'm just thinking, should we get up the gameplay trailer as well so we can see both, or is that too much? Just because, I don't know, I'm just thinking because we can look at what we're seeing now, we can look at that, and we can compare. Yeah, why not? Let's just do it. I don't see any reason why not. Yeah, I'll do that as well, and then maybe we'll have some more ideas of what we can analyse. Alright. Oh, I see what Randolph Gamer is saying. Yes, he says, because most people who criticise the game are not good at it. Well, that just really depends on who it is talking. You know, there's always going to be people that will, like, complain about something because it's popular to complain about it, whether they actually agree or not. And there'll be people that praise something just because it's cool to praise it, whether they agree or not. I think as long as you are just real with what you're saying, then that's all you can do, isn't it? Like for me, I just try and I just go off my emotions pretty much. You know, like when the gameplay trailer was revealed, I freaked out because I was excited and I had a real good reaction to it, and then I made a great video. Well, might not be great. I think it's pretty good though. You know, where I analysed the gameplay and I was really excited. And then as I kind of calmed down a little bit, the emotions changed, and then I had a more sort of level-headed take when I made those the parkour video, and I made the Mirage trailer Concerns Me, which it doesn't really concern me that much. It's just I had to come up with a title and something people were gonna want to click, and I have concerns. So I guess it is true. I guess it does concern me. So you know what? You just gotta go off of your own. Don't be negative for the sake of being negative. Be positive if you're positive. Be negative if you're negative. If being negative serves a positive purpose. That's what I'm gonna say about that. That's what I do anyway, or I try to at least. Do you think Basim will have a wife and son? Well, I mean, it's very possible because, you know, there was that scene in Valhalla where he said, "Oh, I once had a son." Now, obviously, that was alluding to more Loki had a son, because we saw that play out. You know, it showed it in the form of a wolf because it was based off of Norse mythology, and they, you know, Odin
killed his son or had his son killed, whatever. And that was what he was saying in that cutscene when, Basim and Eivor are sat around the campfire, and he's like, oh yes, I know what loss is. I once had a son, and he was taken from me. And it was a powerful scene, to be fair. But you never know. He could have also had children in the past, as Basim. And maybe he was kind of alluding to both. Maybe he literally lost both. And also, if we are seeing parallels between Basim and Loki because they are a reincarnation of the same being, maybe we will see parallels in that way. Maybe Loki lost his son, so the parallel will play out in Basim's life. Maybe Basim will have a son as well, like an actual son, and he will be taken as well, So yeah, it's possible. It would be cool because again, it would add a bit more depth to Basim's character than what we currently have, which is, I think Basim has a fair amount of depth because just because he was very much involved in the story. But I just think they could kind of make us see that level of depth and that character in Valhalla, just make him see him differently, because context is everything when it comes to anything. And if you understand the character better, you understand their motives better, and we understand Basim's motives based off of the context of Loki, but we don't maybe understand or haven't seen the meld of Basim's motives based off of the Basim life context or whatever, along with the Loki stuff. Maybe when we play Mirage and we understand more to do with Basim and how he blends with Loki and how that happens, maybe we'll actually almost sympathize with him even when he turned on Eivor. Maybe he goes through a lot, and maybe it's horrible to have a confliction of personalities. Maybe we'll really see that, and it will kind of delve into the sort of psyche of Basim a lot more in this game, because that could be really good. If I was to write the story for this game, and I'm not saying I'm an amazing writer or anything, I'm just saying if I was going to try and do it, I think I would try and go in that direction. I do this assassin story, but I'd just because of the opportunities here, I would try and weave in this sort of, story about Basim and how he deals with the confliction in it. And I would like to kind of really focus on the mental side of things. Kind of like in, Hellblade, I think it's called Hellblade, right? Senua's Sacrifice, I'm probably butchering that name. But that game really focuses on the psyche of a person, and the more you play through it, the more you understand, or you at least can try to understand more why she's doing what she's doing, the way she's feeling, and that really adds a layer of almost pressure and immersion and depth to what you're doing, to everything. All the fighting you do has weight to it because you're literally fighting for your life, and the reason you're doing that as you learn more, again, it adds a lot of depth. So I think what I would do is I would really try to focus on does saying the mental health side of things make sense? Just when it comes to Basim and his confliction and how that progresses or declines. That's what I'd focus on. But one worry is that I have is that they'll just kind of not really go in too much depth with it. He'll be kind of just like, whoa, whoa. He'll have a little flashback. He'll go, whoa. It'd be like Green Goblin in the first Tobey Maguire Spider-Man film. It won't be like really going on the confliction of Norman Osborn and Green Goblin. It will just be him looking in the mirror and being like, oh, you see me, you know what I mean? It's just like, oh, come on. It might just be like that, and then it's very base or surface. What's the word? I say this word all the time. Surface value, base value, surface. You know what I'm trying to. Surface level. That's it. It might be that, but I want it to go deeper in the ocean, down in the iceberg, because the opportunity's here, and I'd love to see it. Personally, as a fan of like story, I personally just love stories in any sort of medium, whether it comes to games, TV, anything, even music, because there's some very well written songs that can also delve into similar things. I like stories that are, I was going to say nuanced, but we all use that word way too much, and I've said this before, it kind of just defeats the whole point of the word nuance if you use it all the time. What's a better word? I just like stories that are intricate, and they kind of they send you away after finishing the story feeling different, understanding something different, or taking a look at something differently. That's something AC1 did really well, the whole philosophical aspect of things. Now, I think they might, but I don't really want them to just kind of rip off the AC1 sort of style of writing when it comes to the philosophy side. I really think they should focus on the philosophy side of things, like what does it mean to be an assassin, but what does it mean to fight for peace, and how does the opposing faction strive for the same thing, and where do the lines blur between good and evil? You know, that whole thing would be really good with the assassins, weaving that into Basim and Loki's story, because what does it mean to be good and evil? You know, Basim and Loki, what does it mean, or where are the lines blurred? You know, again, between these two personalities, that could be perfectly paralleled with the Assassins-Templar conflict. And the more you play through the Assassin-Templar conflict, the more you could then understand better the conflict between Basim and Loki. You know, they could really parallel that, I think. Again, if they write it well, if they do it well, if they see that opportunity and take it, rather than just focus on one thing and sideline the other. I think... Oh, I would love to see that. I'm getting excited as I'm talking about it, to be honest with you. Let me read chat. What do you guys think about that? It's also possible that Basim said that for both his son and wife. That what we were saying, right? It's possible that he meant that for Loki's son, as well as a son that he maybe had in this life. There's still no mocap in this game, just like Valhalla, which I'm not a fan of at all. Yeah. However, there was mocap, I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, there was mocap in Valhalla with the pre-rendered cutscenes, like at the beginning when, you know, the camp, I don't know what you want to call it, the village gets ransacked and you have to escape as a kid. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that was mocapped, because it was, again, a big story-centric pre-rendered cutscene. So, cutscenes like what we're seeing on screen over there, that could be pre-rendered, which means that could be mocapped. It doesn't look mocapped though, to be honest, does it? If we look at the way Basim moves when he's at the camp, when he goes, it's not very much. No, that's not mocapped, is it? Well, it could be. It could be. I don't know. I mean, if you mocap something, of course it's going to add to the immersion, it's going to make it more feel more cinematic, feel more realistic, and the more realistic something feels and seems, the more invested you can be. But I don't think it's literally the end of the world if it's not mocaps. You know, like, Skyrim is far from mocaps. It's probably the opposite of mocaps you can ever get, but that game is so immersive, and there are characters in that game that you can get really attached to. Same with The Witcher 3. It's not mocapped, but the way that they just wrap you into a story and let you love these characters and learn about them and get connected to them, it's like next level. So I don't think it's the end of the world if the game's not mocapped. It's all about the character writing, to me at least anyway. Jorm says, I wonder how they'd handle the modern day in Mirage given that there isn't a big focus on it. I think, as I've said before, I think it's going to be like Unity Syndicate sort of modern day. It will show cutscenes. It will do so just for the sake of doing so, and that'll be it. I think the beginning of the game, we'll see William Miles or Basim, probably Basim in modern day, hands the DNA to William Miles or something like that. Some sort of small cutscene, perhaps. You get in the Animus. You play, you know, it sort of initiates you like it does at the beginning, like DNA sequencing, connected, launching, whatever. And then I think they'll do that so that they can then have the sort of glitchy effect, which I love, by the way. You know, like when it loads up a city, especially in the older games, it would do the sort of world building sound, like not like that, but you know what I'm trying to say. And then you'd see it kind of the world building from a simulation. Oh, I love that. I really want to see that. I want to see Baghdad just getting built from the simulation with the noise and everything. Oh, it would be so good. So I think they'll use modern day cutscenes at the beginning, maybe middle, maybe end of the game, just to show, look, we're still doing it. It's modern day. That's what you guys love, and stuff like that. Unless I'm really wrong, and they've literally just done amazing stuff, and they've, you know, but I don't think we need modern day in this game, really. Because if you're not gonna have a reason to do modern day, then do you really need it? Because the whole point of having modern day in the older games was to progress the story, because Desmond paralleled with Ezio and kind of with Altair as well. You know, he had that parallel with them, and then the more he would experience something outside of the Animus, that would then lend into something inside the Animus, and vice versa. The more he learned as Ezio, the more he'd then be able to act outside of the Animus, and it was, again, this parallel between characters and time periods that lent in for to collaborate for one big goal that you then find out at the end of the game, which is saving the world. So that was the point for modern day to start with. And then, you know, what was the point of Layla's modern day? It wasn't the same, was it? It was, I'm a modern day character, I'm a Templar, oh, well, now I'm going to become, well, I work for Asturgo, now I'm going to become an assassin, cool, now I'm going to find this piece of Eden, okay, cool, I've done that. And then in Valhalla, all of a sudden, now I'm doing some good stuff, but, you know, I should have done that from the first two games I was in. When I say I'm talking about Layla. And, you know, they tried to do stuff with Valhalla's modern day, which was alright, which was done good, but it's like it had to kind of be rushed and put into Valhalla when they should have spaced it out and made it good from Origins onwards. So with Mirage, it's like, what's the point of a modern day? It's just going to be there for the sake of being there, in my opinion, unless they are able to utilize Basim's memories to further an agenda in the modern day. Really, all we know is that Basim is showing William Miles his memories to help him understand, or to help him learn. Or no, didn't he say something like, these assassins these days, they didn't do it like they used to. I should show you guys how it used to be done, or something like that. So it's like, at least there's a reason we're getting Mirage story-wise, but it's like, do we need modern day? No, so let's just stick with the cutscenes, I guess. You know, I love modern day coming out of the Animus and having these story sequences, but I love doing that for a reason, not just for the fun of doing it, because then it kind of isn't fun, and it kind of ruins pacing, I think. But the older games with Desmond, it really added to pacing, because you'd be playing, then you come out of the Animus, and then it would be a whole new pace, you go back in, and then it feels fresh again, you know? So, Halzix says, by the way, did you know actually that Eivor and Basim didn't have Odin and Loki as consciousnesses inside their minds talking to them? I wanted to clarify this because of the comparison you made with Norman. No, I know that. I know that. It was more kind of just, it was just more like they had aspects of themselves based off of, who they once were, right? They were technically like the same person, soul, in their soul or whatever, in their DNA. But yeah, it wasn't like a split personality. But I think what I think we will see in Mirage is we'll see sort of differences in personality from Basim. Like, we'll see him act like he is, but then as he taps into his DNA more, I think he will start to act differently, because he will be naturally accessing that part of his DNA more than the sort of Basim side of it. You know what I mean? Basically, as Darby commented a long time ago, Axis Animus made a video about this, Eivor and Basim only have the information of a lifetime of Odin and Loki. Only that. I don't quite know what you mean by that, to be honest. The consciousness in his mind was a way of interpreting it, not what was correct. Yeah, no, I'm with you there, I was never saying it was otherwise, really. I probably just, like, worded it slightly weirdly or something. Josh says, something I don't get about the title is what they will do with Mirages. Like, the antagonist that Basim fights makes Mirages to trick Basim, like magic. I just think it's a title they picked. I just think it's a title. I mean, Mirage could mean, if it's cool, maybe it'll be more symbolic, like Mirage being, you know, playing into the sort of location, but also playing into maybe, you know, Basim being Loki. Basim is the Mirage, Loki is who he truly is, you know, something like that, or a Mirage being like the truth, you know, like who, you know, like or peace is a mirage, and maybe the Templars see it one way, the Order of Ancients see it one way, the Hidden Ones see it another way, and they're saying, no, your way of seeing peace is a mirage. You know, it could be something symbolic, or they could have just thought, what's a good name? Mirage, you know what I mean? Who knows? We'll find out, though, as we play through the game and learn the story, I'm guessing. Jorm says, do you think in some way it will connect to AC1? I think they'll probably try and connect it in some way, probably. They kind of alluded to that in the sort of update DLC when Roshan comes into Valhalla and you do that mission and she has a scroll and she's like a seed to be planted in Jerusalem or something like that. You know, maybe something similar like in Mirage, they'll have something which will set up the foundations. I think the way it will blend with AC1 or tie into AC1 will be, we'll see the Hidden Ones transition into the assassins as we then know them, the Levantine assassins in AC1. I think, yeah, we'll just see that transition. We'll see that, and I know they're still Hidden Ones in Valhalla, so we won't actually see them become the Assassin Brotherhood in Mirage, seeing it set as a prequel to Valhalla. But I just think we'll see things that you'll go, oh, that's why the Assassin Brotherhood in AC1 have that, because they did it here and stuff like that. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. As well as the tie-in, I think they're going to use again, they're not called Masyaf keys at this point, just to reiterate, but what we know as the Masyaf keys, I think they'll also play a part in the story, and you know, maybe Loki did record his memories on those keys, and then Basim collects those keys, very similar to how Ezio collected the keys to view Altair's memories, and Basim learns more about himself as he once was through those keys. And maybe then we learn that behind, you know, read between the lines, you realise that maybe Altair learned so much that he actually learned because he actually also looked at those memories on the keys before he then put his own memories on the keys and then put them in Masyaf and made them the Masyaf keys, you know? So it might tie in somehow that way. That's how I imagine it maybe would tie in. I don't know how else they could probably tie it in, but they might do it in a different way. But I think because they're going on about, we're paying homage to AC1, this and that, 15-year anniversary, I think because of all of this, they will try to tie it into AC1 in one way or another. This could be understood like the visions Basim will see. It's like a mirage. He will not know what's true and what's false in real life. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying. Like, how they could balance that with Basim's story as well as the Assassin versus Templar story to keep both things kind of parallel. Josh says, my hype is getting stronger now that we know more about the game. Yeah, me too, man. Me too. Again, I'm really excited, and I think we all should be excited because we like games and we want to play it. Let's be excited. It doesn't hurt, does it? But I think at the same time, it's like it's fair to reserve the judgments and stuff like we have been. So, yeah, I think we're on a good track though. K19 says, "What's good, bro? What's your hype leading up to June 12th? Hope the gameplay reveals show 5 to 10 minutes of a mission." I don't know what you mean by what's my hype, but I'll just say that, yeah, I'm very hyped up. I'm very excited. June 12th is going to be a good time, and I'm obviously hoping to see all you guys, in my live reaction to that event, like we did with the Sony showcase. We're going to do it again with that, and I think the day before is the Xbox showcase, so I think we'll probably stream that as well. If I can, I'll do that as well. So yeah, we've got a lot to come. So yeah, I'm very excited. Maybe AC1 is the true MCU cameo. Please, man, don't make me cry. Don't. Oh man, that hurts. But yeah, I don't know. Should we leave it there? I don't know. I don't really know what else to say about it, to be honest with you. I don't want to just start rambling and saying things for the sake of saying things just to continue the live stream. So I think we'll probably end it there. Yeah, I think that's good. Just an hour and 10 minutes or whatever. I think that's a good sort of stream. I've got a few things I need to do before I go to sleep anyway. So yeah, that's good. I had a good time with you guys today. Thank you again. I'm gonna read who it was from who donated, because I really appreciate that. Again, that was the first time anyone's ever done that for me. So yeah, I do appreciate that. I like how as soon as I said we're gonna go, so many people drop out, which makes sense. I just find it amusing. I'm looking for the dono. Where's the dono? Where's the dono? Where is it? I can't see it now. Oh, where's it gone? Oh, I can't see it. But what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to, again, say I really appreciate that. Thank you. I love you. And I love you all. Thank you guys for watching today. I had a good time. I think we delved deep into what we saw and what we know and what we think we'll see. So I think we kind of, the more we talk about this stuff, the better idea we're going to get. And the better idea we're going to get of what we're going to see and what we're going to play. And it's just fun to speculate, isn't it? It's just fun. Like, you know, you look at what you've got currently being kind of 2 trailers and a few clips. And it's just fun to just theorize, figure stuff out, and just see if we're right. You know, I'm going to make a video when the game comes out. Were my predictions correct? And I'm going to base off of the predictions video I made. I'm going to look, oh, was I right there? Was I wrong there? You know, that's going to be a fun time. So again, all of this leads in to all of that. So yeah, all right, guys, I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to actually say the little outro that I say as I press end live, because usually I'll say it and they're like, oh, I've got to end it now, and then I've got this whole sort of like me acting like a sussy barker, mate, a sussy barker. Anyway, so I'm still here, don't worry, I'm still here, mate, I'm still here. Alright, love you guys. May the Father of Understanding guide us. I will see you soon. Goodbye.